हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री निताय गौरंग भगवान की निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Everybody, please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपः कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते। कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य Prabho Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everybody please lift your hands to the extent you can, not little. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayati Girimyat Kripahatamam Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Pavitro Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yat Smaret Pundarikaksham Sabhyabhyantaram Suche Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Once more, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I humbly request everyone to please sit down. Please, somewhere there are chairs here in front. You can sit here, you can sit down. See, I am not a person coming from Jagannath Puri. Can we close the door so that children's noise will decrease? Yeah. So I am not coming from Jagannath Puri, so I cannot speak Jagannath pastimes. Actually, I cannot speak because I am not from Jagannath Puri. Anybody here who is from Jagannath Puri? Huh? Who is born in Jagannath Puri? I'm not saying who has gone to Jagannath Puri. This is where you can buy tickets and go to Jagannath Puri, right? But I'm not, my family is not any Pandas family. Pandas are the people who serve Jagannath. How many here have gone to Jagannath Puri? Lift your hand. Haribol. Very less number of people have gone. Very unfortunate, so many have not gone. I think you should sell your flats, buy a ticket and go to Jagannath Puri. Because life is waste without going to Jagannath Puri. Right? So, but today I'm going to tell the Katha of Jagannath, which is told by a son of Panda. Pandas are the devotees who serve Jagannath. So there is a great son of Panda, one of the Pandas, and he became a great sannyasi in ISKCON movement. His name is Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Because when we hear from authorized source, what we are speaking has meaning. If we just speak whatever we want, then it is not right Katha. Right? We have to hear from the authorized source. And today it's very difficult to find who is authorized, who is not authorized, isn't it? Anybody gets on YouTube and speaks. But now today, I'm going to repeat what His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj has explained as the Katha of Jagannath. And I want all of your rapt attention for the next 15-20 minutes. Keep everything else aside. Keep everything else aside. All your mobile phones aside. Can all of you lift your right hand? With the left hand, touch your mobile wherever it is. Hold it up. And there is a switch off button. You can take a deep breath and switch off that button. Right? Is it switched off or no? Yes. Because if it is not switched off, your consciousness will not be on. We have become servants of that little instruments in our hands. How many agree with this? Yeah. Can you all throw the mobile phone out of the door? Prabhuji. Yeah. So may I request everybody to sit down. Please sit down. For a few minutes, let us meditate on who is this Jagannath. Right? Who is this Jagannath? Why is he coming into our life? Why are we doing Rath Yatra today? What is the reason behind it? What is the Katha behind it? Right? So His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj explains. Hare Krishna, no discussion. Children, if anybody is discussing, they have to come and sit in the front. I am directly going to call. This is like a college room or a school class. Right? I can't ask you to stand on the chair because these are plastic chairs. Right? Okay. So, 5,000 years ago, when Krishna left Vrindavan, please everybody, please rapt attention. Satya Brahma, you can move but don't disturb anyone. So, when 5,000 years ago, when Lord Krishna left Vrindavan, he was in separation of Vrindavan. And everybody in Vrindavan were waiting for Lord Krishna to come back. How many years was Krishna when he left Vrindavan? Anyone can tell? 11 years. Around 11 years is when he left Vrindavan. He left Vrindavan and went to Mathura to kill Kamsa. And then he came for a very big reason. Paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma sansthapanarthaya, sambhavami yoge. Okay. So he came in this yuga to establish dharma. So he left Vrindavan for a long time. But inside his heart, he always missed Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan means the original Krishna, who steals butter, who plays with his friends. How many of you, given a choice, want to go back to your childhood? Lift your hand. If you're not lifting your hand, you'll not go. So think about it. Right? You all want to go back to your childhood, right? Childhood. Nana, those two girls, can one of you come here? Can one of you come here? Come in the front. Please come and sit in the front. I have to execute what I told, otherwise people will not listen. This is Kali Yuga. Please repeat after me. Harer Nama. Harer Nama. Harer Nameva Kevalam. Kalau. Nasteva Gatiranyata. What is the meaning of this? In this age of Kali, we should chant the holy names of Krishna, holy names of Krishna, holy names of Krishna. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Why it is told 3 times? Because in Kali Yuga, we don't listen the first time. Right? Harer Nama, Prabhuji, Harer Nama. Isn't it? 3rd time we listen. So here also, if I am seeing any disturbance, 3rd time I will ask you to come and sit in the front. Okay? Now, Krishna is in separation of Vrindavan. He left, but is thinking about Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, the Gopas, the Gopis, they are in immense separation of Krishna. And then Krishna told he's going to come back. He told, I'll go to Mathura and I'll come back. He never told how long will it take to come back. Right? And Vrindavan Vasis are like, he's going to come tomorrow. We all have heard of Shabri plucking bear every day, cleaning them, wearing a new sari, waiting for Ram. In the same way, Yashoda Mai and all the gopis would every day churn butter. And when they are churning the butter, every day they would think, Krishna is going to come today. Today's butter Krishna is going to eat. All the gopas, they are taking the cows outside. They are waiting. Today Krishna is going to come and is going to walk with us into the fields. Right? They are desperately waiting for Krishna. It's not like tomorrow Krishna is going to come. Today, now, Krishna can come. All their eyes are on the door in their houses that Krishna is going to come. Any day he is going to come. That kind of love we cannot see in this world. It's very difficult to explain the separation of Krishna and his devotees. It's very, very difficult. How can you explain a frog in a well, how big the ocean is? You cannot. Right? How can you explain how gulab jamun tastes? Can anybody explain? Try. Soft, smooth, sweet. Does it make any difference if I say like that? Just imagine somebody from Jamaica is coming and I'm telling him, gulab jamun is round, it is sweet, it's like, what nonsense, I don't understand what it is, right? So it's impossible to explain the taste of gulab jamun. It's impossible to explain the love of Krishna and his devotees. Don't even try to think you'll understand today. I don't think I have understood so far. Gopis would see Krishna everywhere, would wait for Krishna everywhere. They are desperate to get back Krishna in their life. They would forget what they are doing in their life. And Gopas, they would see Krishna everywhere. Their separation was so high that they would see Krishna everywhere and they think that Krishna is there and they are not in separation. When Krishna was in Dwarka, he had his cousin brother called Uddhav. How many have heard the personality called Uddhav? A lot of South Indians have unfortunately not heard who is Uddhav. Even I did not hear who is Uddhav until I went to Vrindavan. Uddhav is a cousin brother of Krishna and he exactly looks like Krishna. He's so beautiful like Krishna. And Uddhav is a great knowledgeable person. And Krishna would even consult Uddhav asking for advisors. Can you imagine? And who is Uddhav's guru? Brahaspati. Brahaspati is the Uddhav's guru. Very, very knowledgeable person. And Uddhav was very, very proud. He was a pure devotee of Krishna also, but he had a little bit of pride inside that he thinks that he loves Krishna. And one day Krishna called Uddhav and he told, Uddhav, I wanted to go to Vrindavan and I wanted to go and speak to the gopis and gopas and my parents in Vrindavan and tell them that I'm going to come. Just go and tell them that I'm going to come one day. Let them not be so worried. So Uddhav went to Vrindavan. And he went to Vrindavan and he looked at gopis. Some gopis cooking, some gopis cleaning a cow, some gopis playing with, the calves, some gopis are serving other gopis. Some gopis are serving Radharani. And Radharani is a gopi. She's looking at the sky. She's looking at the leaves. She's looking at the bumblebee. She's talking to the bumblebee. They're all completely immersed and they're only thinking about Krishna. And Uddhav goes like a very knowledgeable person in front of the gopis and he says, see, you all should think about Krishna. You should not be so upset. Just think about Krishna, that's good enough. And gopis look at Uddhav and they tell, hey Uddhav, to think you need a mind. To think you need a mind. When Krishna went to Mathura, he took our mind also. How do we think about him? We don't know what to do. We don't have our mind. We don't have our intelligence. We are completely lost. And Uddhav is like, what kind of love is this? What kind of people are this? They act as if they don't exist without Krishna. Right? There is no meaning in their lives without Krishna. Just imagine, you all have small children or big children now. Just imagine when your children were born, when your child was 2 years old and he suddenly got lost. How would it be? How you will go and search for him? Can you go and have your breakfast? Can you have your lunch? Can you have your dinner? Can you sleep if you can't see your child? Anybody here? Just multiply that separation by 1,000,000 times. That is the separation gopis were having with Krishna. So Krishna told Uddhav that Uddhav, when you go to Vrindavan, speak to gopis and I am telling you what to speak. Don't try to create your own dialogues. Don't try to create your own dialogues. I am telling you what to speak to gopis. You can speak whatever you want with my parents. You can speak whatever you want with my friends, gopas. But gopis, don't even try to speak what you want to speak. Because you don't understand the gopis' love. I am totally surrendered to gopis and gopis are totally surrendered to me. That is a pure love that we cannot imagine in this world. He looked at the love of the gopis and gopas. When he looked at this love of gopis and gopas, he lifted his hands. He said that Krishna, Brahaspati has taught me a lot of things, but now I feel that whatever I've learned is useless. Because he has not shown me what is the meaning of prema, what is the meaning of love, what is the meaning of loving somebody in life. So Brahaspati, even you don't know what you have learned, and you have not taught me what I learned, and I have not learned what is pure love. This is the emotions that Uddhav showed. And Uddhav told, hey Krishna, I want a desire. I want a boon. Please, give me birth in Vrindavan, in my next life. Give me birth in Vrindavan as a creeper of grass at the entrance of Vrindavan. At the entrance of Vrindavan. So that any gopa and gopi, when they come into Vrindavan, they will step on me and I will get the dust off their lotus feet. I will get the dust off the lotus feet of the gopis and gopas. And that is the highest position that Uddhav is asking after understanding what is Vrindavan. We have not gone, or even if you have gone, we have not seen Vrindavan. How people are devoted to Krishna. So Krishna, are you all following so far?
Yes.
Yeah? Am I too fast in telling? Okay. So Krishna is in Dwarka and Uddhav comes back and Uddhav surrenders to Krishna saying, I stayed there for 11 months. Krishna, in 11 months I could understand one thing. I have no love for you. The beauty is, I'll tell you the beauty of love in spiritual life and material life. In spiritual life, when your love for God increases, you go and tell people that actually I don't have any love. Devotees, the more loving they become to Krishna, they tell that they don't have any love. Whereas materialistic people, the little wealth they have, they go and tell, I have this much wealth. The little beauty they have, they go and tell, I am this beautiful. Isn't it? That is the difference between material consciousness and spiritual consciousness. Material consciousness means, ఏమి లేకపోయినా చూపెట్టుకుంటారు. Spiritual consciousness means, అంత ఉన్నా సరే లేదని చెప్తారు. భగవంతుడి పట్ల ప్రేమ ఉన్నా సరే నాకు ప్రేమ లేదనే చెప్తారు భక్తులు. ప్రేమ లేని ప్రేమ లేని మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ పీపుల్ వాళ్ళు మాత్రం ఏది లేకపోయినా ఉండదని చెప్పుకుంటారు. దే టెల్ దట్ దే హ్యావ్ ఎ లాట్. సో కృష్ణ హియర్ ఇన్ ద్వారకా ఈస్ థింకింగ్ అబౌట్ Radharani. The word Radha that I'm uttering right now, I'm not qualified to even utter that word because she is the epitome of love. She is the expansion of Krishna. And we cannot understand the love of Radharani. Just understand that if there is something called love, the source of all that love in this whole planet, in all of us, whether you're a parent, whether you're a child, whether you are a husband or a wife or a friend, all that love is coming from single person called Radharani. And Krishna is thinking about that Radharani. And Krishna is thinking about Radharani and is completely immersed, remembering Radharani, how she used to serve me in Vrindavan. And in that say, he says, Radhe, 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 Radhe. And suddenly he faints. Krishna faints in Dwarka. And as soon as he faints, immediately Narad Muni runs and comes. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Hey Rama, hey Krishna, what happened? You fainted. He understands that Krishna has fainted, remembering Radharani. Immediately he calls Uddhav. Hey Uddhav, come here, come here. We have to do something. Krishna has fainted. We have to wake up Krishna. We have to speak to Krishna. He has fainted. He has fainted, remembering Radharani. We have to do something now. And Radharani and Uddhav says, Narad Muni, why don't you do a thing? You can sing the Vrindavan pastimes. You can sing some songs of Vrindavan. And if you sing that, Krishna will wake up. Narad Muni says, very good idea. I will sing the pastimes of Vrindavan and Krishna will wake up. Right? And immediately there one more personality comes, Balaram. Right? Now Balaram also comes. He says, hey, what happened to Krishna? What is going on? And Uddhav says, Balaramji, Krishna has fainted, remembering Radharani, and now he is going to sing the pastimes of Vrindavan and Krishna will wake up. And immediately Balaram says, that's a very good idea. So immediately Uddhav again says, no, wait a second, what I told is right, but there is a problem. What is the problem? As soon as Krishna hears the Vrindavan pastimes and the Vrindavan Leelas, he'll immediately get up and tell, I want to go to Vrindavan. I want to go to Vrindavan. Immediately I have to go. Right? And then immediately they start thinking what to do now. Immediately Uddhav says, I think we should get a chariot for Krishna. Let us make a chariot ready first. There has to be a chariot. Can you see that chariot outside? A similar chariot. They say that we have to keep a chariot for Krishna ready, and then we will sing the pastimes of Vrindavan. So Krishna will, and as soon as he gets up, here is the chariot, Krishna, you can go. You can go to Vrindavan. Are you all following?
Yes.
Somebody did not do the yoga exercise that I told. Can you lift your mobile in the left hand? Can you switch off that mobile?
Krishna has come.
Krishna has come. Third time, you know what I'll do? I'll take that mobile here. Okay? So, Rohit and Matajis, so what is happening here is they have made a chariot ready. They made a chariot ready and Krishna is going to get up now. Are you all following so far?
Yes.
Yes. This is a Leela told by Gauragovind Maharaj, so I want you to rapidly, attentively hear it because I am also not good at telling this. I am trying to repeat what I have heard. Right? Now, as soon as they thought this, then immediately Balramji told something. Balramji told, wait a second, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that dham, that param dham, whoever goes will not return. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that anybody who goes to Vrindavan will not return. Tat dhamam paramam mama. Right? Now, Balramji starts saying, if Krishna goes to Vrindavan, he will not return. We have a problem now. We need Krishna in Dwarka also. So if Narad Muni will sing the Vrindavan pastimes and Krishna will get up and he will get into the chariot, he will go to Vrindavan, he will not return only. Then what will you do? Is it a problem? Yes. Now they are thinking what to do. Then Uddhav says, I think we should, some of us should go to Vrindavan before Krishna, because if Krishna goes to Vrindavan and he sees all the Gopas, Gopis, his parents crying, he will never return. But if Krishna goes to Vrindavan and he sees Vrindavan was happy, hey Krishna, how are you? We are fine. If they tell like that, then Krishna might come back. Are you all following? Right? Is it a good idea? He says, okay, we have to do this. Somebody has to go to Vrindavan first and we have to tell the Gopas and Gopis that Krishna is coming, but don't cry. Don't show your separation. Don't show them your love so much that Krishna will never return only. So we have to prepare. Now who is going to go first? Narad Muni asks, Uddhav, can you go? Can you go and message to the Vrindavan Vasis? Uddhav says, hey Narad Muni, I went there for 11 months. I wanted to go and convert, they converted me. Where will I go and explain them that stop your emotions? I became emotional after going to Vrindavan. I have taken a boon that I'll become a grass of in Vrindavan. Right? I cannot go and tell the Brijvasis that please relax. If Krishna comes, just say hello, 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 bye and everything. They will not. I cannot do that. He lifts his hands. Then Narad Muni is thinking, who else can go? Then he asks, Balram, can you go? Balram says, I was living in Vrindavan before. I'm not like Uddhav. I was actually living in Vrindavan. If I go to Vrindavan, don't you think I myself will get tempted to stay there? I don't think I myself can return. And by the way, I went there for 2 months. After the Leela of Kamsa, I went there for 2 months. I stayed with the Vrindavan Vasis. I stayed with my parents. And in 2 months I understood and I promised all of them that I'll go and get Krishna. So that is how they allowed me to go out of Vrindavan. So I came out of Vrindavan to get Krishna. I never got Krishna. If now I go, you know what they'll do with me. I don't think I can go and convince the Brajavasis that you have to be normal when Krishna comes. Then who will do this duty? Now Krishna is still fainted there. Somebody has to, Narad Muni has to tell the Vrindavan, he's going to get up. And as soon as he gets up, then we need a Rath. Rath is ready. But then if he goes, he'll not come back. Somebody has to go and tell the Vrindavan Vasis not to show their emotions too much. Otherwise Krishna will never come back. They're worried. And then Subhadra. Subhadra comes to that place. The same Subhadra, the sister of Krishna, she comes to that place where Krishna is there. Now we have Subhadra, Krishna, Balaram and Uddhav and Narad Muni at the same place. Krishna is still on the floor, fainted and singing Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. He's completely in Radha consciousness. And now, tells, see, I am a female. I can go and manage the females easily, don't worry. I can go, if I'll go and tell them, they'll understand. I think I can try to manage. So I'll go. Don't worry, I will go. I'll go and tell my parents, I will go and tell the gopis that Krishna has to come back. You have to show your emotions a little less. Because I never went to Vrindavan. After that, they are going to give me a chance. So I'll go. When Balram went, Uddhav went, so they have already gone, they could not. This is my first attempt to go, so I'll still try. I'll go first. And then Balaram says, okay, if you are going, I will also come with you. If Subhadra, you are going, I will also come with you. I'll stand behind you. You speak to them. I will just stand behind. So then they say that, okay, you can go. Right? So then immediately they make 2 more chariots. They made 1 chariot for Krishna. Now they make 1 more chariot for Subhadra. And because Balramji is also going, they make 1 more chariot for Balaram. So now there are 3 chariots. Right? Now Subhadra and Balram, they say we are going to Vrindavan. But Balram's chariot is a little faster. Even though he was planning to go behind Subhadra, he goes first. He reaches Vrindavan first and then he's waiting for Subhadra to come. All the Vrindavan was there looking at Balramji like this. Okay, where is Krishna? Okay, he's coming. Then immediately Subhadra Mai comes, right, in her chariot. And Subhadra comes and she starts speaking to the Vrindavan Vasis. And for a change, they don't go into the Vrindavan, they go to one called Nidhivan. They don't go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan has 113 forests. If I'm right, 112 or 113 forests. And out of that, 80 plus forests are for Krishna and remaining forests belong to Balram. There is a clear division there. So there are Balram forests and Krishna forests. Krishna plays in those forests, Balram plays in those forests. There is a place called Nidhivan. Nidhivan is a very famous forest. Van means forest. Right? Nidhivan is a famous place where Radha and Krishna meet every evening, and there are all the gopis and gopas, they dance around them, and Radha and Krishna also dance every day. So Nidhivan is a very intimate place of loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. So Subhadra Mai and Balaram, when the chariots go into Vrindavan, they go into Nidhivan. And when they go into Nidhivan, they see there is Radharani sitting on the banks of Yamuna, that she is almost going to leave her body only. She's completely crying so much. Her entire skin is burning in heat of separation. And all the gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, they're all keeping, a cold cloth on Radharani. Because when you have fever, you keep cold cloth, right? Like that they're keeping on Radharani. And Radharani is so much burning in separation. And Radharani is like just going to faint, just going to die. They feel that Radharani is going to die today. Radharani is going to leave her body today. Right? That is the mood. And then as soon as Balram and Subhadra go and see Radharani like that, they immediately see the love of Krishna in her eyes. They look into her eyes and their eyes become very big. And looking at the separation that Radharani is experiencing of Krishna, their hands go inside. Their legs go inside. And suddenly Balaram and Subhadra Mai, they appear like this that you see here. How is Subhadra Mai's eyes here? Very big. And her hands have gone inside. Her legs have gone inside. Balaram's hands and legs have gone inside. Balaram's eyes have become so big. Just looking at that separation. These emotions cannot be experienced by us. When we go to Tirupati Devasthanam, our eyes and hands will not go inside. They'll come outside. I want more. Isn't it? But here is pure love of God. When they see that love in Radharani's eyes, their hands and legs go inside. And they completely become stunned. They become stunned like wooden logs. And that is the reason the murtis of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are made of wooden logs. Because they become stunned and still like wooden logs. And then they are waiting for Krishna to come. And before Krishna comes, there is one personality. He comes to Radharani and he takes the dust of Radharani's feet and he keeps it on his head. And who is that personality? He is Abhimanyu. Not the Abhimanyu son of Subhadra. The Abhimanyu who is actually, transcendentally, surprisingly, the husband of Radharani. Husband of Radharani? Was Radharani married to somebody else? Yes, she was married to Abhimanyu. But who is this Abhimanyu? Now Abhimanyu sits there and he says, I am going to tell a very big secret that I have never told anyone so far. Do you want to know that secret? Yes. How many here want to know the secret? No, you're not qualified to know that secret. We are not qualified to know that secret. But still we need to know that secret. Because you all have pulled the Rath of Jagannath, you have a qualification to know that secret today. Otherwise, there is no qualification. If you have not pulled the Rath of Jagannath, you are sitting here, you better go pull and come back. Because then only you have qualification to hear the secret. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you have qualification. Here Abhimanyu says, I am going to tell the story. I am going to tell the truth that nobody else knows. I am a worshipper of Katyayani Devi. Katyayani Devi is none other than worshipper of Katyayani Devi, and Katyayani told me to marry Radharani. And Vrinda Devi has married me to Radharani. Why she married me to Radharani? Is because if you want to know love of Radha, you cannot know unless you stop her from going to Krishna. If you send Radha to Krishna, Krishna and Radha will go, they will nicely dance and they'll keep walking. But if you want to know what is the love that Radharani has, there has to be somebody who has to stop Radharani from going to Krishna, and then you will know the love that Radharani has for Krishna. In separation, you can see love. Just like if you want to know the love of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that just like you want to see the strength of an elephant. How can you see the strength of an elephant? Elephant will go and lift the logs. Elephant will walk. It is so big. But how do you know the strength of elephant? When you go and bind the elephant with big chains of iron and then it breaks the chains, then you will know the strength of elephant. Are you all following? Yes. In the same way, to know the love of Radharani, there has to be somebody in Radharani's life who will keep stopping her from going and meeting Krishna. And that is the service I got as her husband. And by the way, I have never touched Radharani. This is the first time I am trying to take the dust of her lotus feet. Because, and by the way, I did not marry Radharani, I married the Chaya Radha. Just like Ravana never touched Sita, he took the Chaya Sita, the illusionary Sita. In the same way, I have also married the Chaya Sita. I have never touched, Radharani. Like that he says. And another lady comes there. She runs and comes and takes the dust of Radharani and keeps it on her head. And this lady's name is Kutila. Who is Kutila? She is the sister of Abhimanyu. She is sister of Abhimanyu. And her role is always to find faults in Radharani. Right? I think some of you have experience. Your husband's sisters are always a problem, isn't it? So that's a transcendental problem coming from spiritual world also. So, if your husband, normally, these days when you go for a marriage, they don't ask how's the boy. They ask how many sisters the boy has. If the boy has more than 3 sisters, he is disqualified. Isn't it? The same way, here Kutila, her job is to find faults in Radharani. And all her life she created that scene. Every time she'll go and find faults in Radharani. And then this today, she comes and she puts the dust of lotus feet of Radharani and she says, if there is one person who has no faults at all, that is Radharani. Her love for Krishna, I got to know. I will tell a secret story which I never told anybody. Do you want to know that secret story?
Yes.
Did you all pull the Rath?
Yes.
How many here did not pull the Rath? Please lift your hand sincerely. Okay. All of you should chant loudly, more louder than others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare.
Now you are all qualified. So here, Kutila says, I am going to tell you a story now. What happened? There was a situation when Krishna had fever. One day Krishna had fever. And the greatest of the doctors, he came to treat Krishna in Vrindavan. And he told, the only way Krishna's fever will go away is when you get the water of Yamuna. You have to get the water of Yamuna and sprinkle it on Krishna, and then the fever will go away. And then immediately Kutila said, I will go and get that water. And immediately the doctor told, no. Just you getting the water is not enough. You have to get that water in a pot. And the pot will have 100 holes. And if you bring the water in a pot, Bhavika, you will come and sit here now. And if you bring that water in a pot, and the water still remains with 100 holes in that pot, that means that person has pure love for Krishna. Even if you don't have a little bit of love for Krishna, if you bring that water in that pot, if you don't have little bit love for your beloved, and you bring that pot of water with that holes, the water will go out of that holes. Kutila says, no, I have love for Krishna, I will go and get it. She immediately takes that pot with 100 holes, she goes to Yamuna, she takes that water and she brings it to Krishna. Before even the pot comes to Krishna, all the water goes away. There is very little water left. So anybody here who wants to try taking that pot? Any wives who want to take the pot for their husbands? With 100 holes, how much water will come? The pot itself will break. So we cannot experiment that in Kali Yuga. Whatever love is there, please save it. So here then there is one girl who gets up from all the gopis and she says, I will go and get this water. Who is that girl? Radharani. Srimati Radharani ki Jai. Srimati Radharani gets up, she takes that pot, she goes to Yamuna, she fills that water. Surprisingly, not a single hole in that pot, even a single drop comes out. It's impossible. And she brings that pot and she gives it to that doctor and he puts it on Krishna and Krishna, boom, he gets up. Yes, I'm fine now. Because Radharani brought that water. Krishna is so happy, isn't it? So Kutila says that if there is one person in the whole universe who can serve Krishna and whom Krishna loves to serve, that's only Radharani. That's why we always say Radhe Sham, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda. It's only Radharani who can serve Krishna. Nobody else can serve Krishna. And Radharani is served by her servants. And her servants are served by her servants. And her servants are served by the great Acharyas. And one of the great Acharya who brought Radharani and Krishna into our lives is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And we are the servants of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Do we have the Guru Parampara here? Can somebody get it and keep it here? We cannot have the altar without Guru Parampara. Please keep it. So in the Guru Parampara, we can see A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and his Guru. Who is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada's Guru? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Who is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's Guru? Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. We need a revision now. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's Guru is who? Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Guru is who? Jagannath Das. I will not ask because there is a picture wahin pe khatam ho raha hai Prabhuji. Anyway, so the point is, we are here servants of the 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 servants of Radharani. We cannot serve Krishna. Only Radha can serve Krishna. So here, Kutila takes the dust of Radharani, keeps it on her head, and she says, my life has become perfect now because I have kept the dust on my head. And then, after all this, then comes who? First chariot came who? Balaram. Second chariot came who? Subhadra. Third chariot who? Krishna. Now Krishna's chariot comes. And Krishna's chariot also directly comes to the Nidhivan and he looks at Radharani. After so many years, Krishna is looking at Radharani. Radharani is looking at Krishna. And as soon as they look at each other, Krishna faints. Now, till now, they were giving medicine to Radharani because Radharani is going to faint and die. Now, Krishna has fainted now. So then, Radharani, everybody is worried. Now, Krishna has fainted looking at Radharani. How can we wake up Krishna? How can we wake up Krishna? Hey, Krishna, get up, get up, get up. He cannot even speak. Krishna is completely immersed in Radharani's consciousness. He is completely experiencing Radharani and he is completely fainted. Now, Radharani tells, hey Vrinda Devi, there is only one way to wake up Krishna. Send the wind of Vrindavan. Let the wind of Vrindavan touch my clothes. Let the wind of Vrindavan touch my body. Let the wind of Vrindavan touch the garland that I am wearing. And let that fragrance go into Krishna's nose, into Krishna's body. If that goes into Krishna's body, Krishna will wake up. And immediately the wind comes and it goes into, and it goes around Radharani and it goes on, touches Krishna and Krishna wakes up. And as soon as Krishna sees Radharani, immediately Krishna's hands, Krishna's legs, Krishna's body shrinks and Krishna's eyes become so big. And Krishna tells Radharani, hey Radhe, looking at you doesn't feel that we ever separated. And Radharani says, yes Krishna, it almost feels that the Dwaraka and Mathura all were bad dreams. They just came like a dream and went away. We never separated only. We were always with each other. And Radharani and Krishna, they hold each other's hands and they start dancing. Because now Krishna has come back to Vrindavan. And as soon as they see all the gopis and gopas, they see Radha and Krishna dancing, they also start dancing around them and they forget what is the time. And they forget what is the time, and the time goes into night, night goes into the day. And 4 o'clock in the morning, it is already 4 o'clock in the next day morning, and Radha and Krishna are dancing like they never danced before, and all the gopas and gopis are dancing around them, their parents are dancing, cows are dancing, calves are dancing, whole Vrindavan is dancing, and then they feel that this is a perfect time to do Aarati of Radha and Krishna. And immediately they get an Aarati plate, like we have Aarati plate there. They get an Aarati plate and they start doing Aarati of Radha and Krishna. Aarati of Radha and Krishna, 4 o'clock in the morning. And that was the first Mangal Aarati ever done on this planet in the universe. And that is the reason we do Aarati at 4 o'clock in the morning. In every ISKCON temple, the Aarati happens in Brahma Muhurta. And that was the first Aarati. And that Aarati is called a Mangala Aarati. Mangala means auspicious. And what can be more auspicious than the getting back together of Radha and Krishna? What can be more auspicious than the getting back of Sita and Ram? What can be more auspicious than getting back of Lakshmi and Narayan? And that is why we call it as Mangal Aarati. And that Mangal Aarati was brought into our life by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We are so indebted to Srila Prabhupada that in our life we are hearing something called Mangala Aarati. Right? All of you should endeavor to go to Abbott's temple. Any day you can go and Mangalarti happens at 4 o'clock. Of Radha Krishna. Radha Madan Mohan ki. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki. Nitai Gauranga Bhagavan ki. And looking at that Aarti, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji is Mataji, I'm almost ending, please don't disturb. So, at this Mangalarti, all the devatas, all the gopis, all the gopas, everybody are looking at Radha and Krishna. And the Mangalarti happens. And since that time, and immediately Radharani asks for some boons. Radharani says, Krishna, on this very special occasion, when you have come back to Vrindavan, I want few boons. Krishna says, Radhe, whatever you ask, today I am going to give. Tell me what you want. Radharani says, this form that you have shown of yours, as Jagannath, as the form with two hands and stringed legs, with excitement in your eyes for me, this form you should show to the whole world. And you should allow this form should be worshipped. This is my little wish. And immediately Krishna says, I will appear in this form in a place called Jagannath Puri. And I will appear along with my brother and sister who came from Dwarka just like that, just like today. And we three of us will be available for your worship. Right? Even now in Jagannath Puri, Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra are worshipped exactly in that form, the form which Radharani saw of Krishna. And Krishna further goes, he says, we will repeat the same thing that we did today. Even now, even in future, whenever my Rath, our three chariots